This is Jupiter Today for the 5th of January 2015. Jupiter Today is a daily podcast focusing attention on the dynamic Jupiter system for the purpose of monitoring activity. At 0 hours UTC, the position of Jupiter on the celestial sphere will be a right ascension of 9 hours 35 minutes 35.9 seconds and a declination of positive 15 degrees 14 minutes 49.7 seconds. The angular separation from the Sun today is 142.855 degrees, and that's 1.102 degrees greater than it was yesterday. The phase angle is 6.404 degrees, and that's 0.162 degrees less than what it was yesterday. The distance between Earth and Jupiter today continues to get ever closer to opposition, and it's at 673,915,761 kilometers. That's 1,426,796 kilometers closer than it was yesterday, and our relative velocity between the Earth and Jupiter has dropped just below the 60,000 kilometer per hour mark. We're now at 59,449.83 kilometers per hour, and that's 1,486.59 kilometers slower than it was yesterday. The central meridian at 0 hours UTC, CM1, 328.79 degrees, CM2, 233.75 degrees, CM3, 133.57 degrees. At 0 hours UTC, Io begins the day in quadrant 3, moving west. Europa spends most of the day in quadrant 1, heading east. Ganymede spends all day in quadrant 3, also heading west. And Callisto is to the far east of Jupiter, but it's in quadrant 2, now heading west. At 6 hours UTC, you can see that Io is very near its western elongation, just past, and is now in quadrant 4, going to be heading east. Europa, Ganymede, and Callisto continue on their same paths. There's Ganymede, and there's Europa, and there's Callisto. And there's Earth's point of view at 6 hours UTC. At 12 hours UTC, Io is now in quadrant 4, heading east. Europa is very near its eastern elongation, and by 1800 hours, Europa has passed its eastern elongation and is now in quadrant 2, heading west. Io has moved behind Jupiter and is now in quadrant 1, heading east. And by 0 hours UTC tomorrow, Io is moving east in quadrant 1. There are 2 Jupiter satellite events. At 1437 UTC, Io moves into the shadow of Jupiter, and at 1741, Io reappears from behind Jupiter. There are 2 satellite mutual events, once again starring Ganymede and Io. The first one takes place at 5:59 and goes to 6:06 UTC, and that's when Ganymede is going to eclipse Io. And Io is just at its western elongation, and Ganymede is moving west. This is a 6.5 minute event with an estimated magnitude flux drop of Io of 0.038 magnitudes. And Io, as I said, is pretty much at its western elongation. It's happening at 107.25 arc seconds from Jupiter, and the separation between Ganymede and Io is 34.73 arc seconds. And this is actually the third eclipse in a series. You recall the other two from yesterday. It's the second satellite mutual event. It takes place from 8:19 to 8:26 UTC, and that is when Ganymede eclipses Io. This is a 7.5 minute event with an estimated magnitude flux drop of 0.233. And again, this is a nice event situated pretty far away from Jupiter at 98.04 arc seconds. A good photometric event. 24 hours of Jupiter sky. There's Ganymede and Io doing their eclipses and occultations. Not quite gonna see Io go into Jupiter's shadow. Europa was over there just near its eastern elongation. The red spot crosses Jupiter's meridian twice today. The first is at 6:11, and the second is at 16:07 UTC. There were no new images, no new radio data, and no new papers. So thank you for subscribing. Please show this channel to your friends. You can send your comments and questions and images of Jupiter to the email shown. And until tomorrow, I bid you peace.